What's up, y'all? Georgiana here. Welcome to the show. You know what we do here. We talk about life lessons learned from K dramas, Nollywood movies, and black films. I hope you guys are doing really well. Are you doing good? Are you doing good? Let's have a quick check in. I really do hope you're doing good. I know there's a lot happening in our world and it's frustrating, but let this be your escape from it all. I welcome you and I hope that you're doing really, really well. Before we get into the video today, are you a subscriber yet? Go ahead and join. It is totally free and it means a lot to me that you enjoy the content and that it helps you in some shape or form. So I do really appreciate your subscription. Those that already subscribed, and as you subscribe, thank you so much. Now let's get into our video. So today we are taking our life lesson from the Netflix movie Wonderland. And the general synopsis states, in the sci-fi fantasy film Wonderland, grieving people are able to communicate with their loved ones via a video chat stimulation service that reconstructs them. Yeah, mouthful. The technology called Wonderland connects a couple with their deceased grandparents, a woman with her comatose partner, a young girl with her late mother. But is it possible to find closure by reconnecting with the likeness of those who've died? So the movie is directed by Kim Tae-young, who did Memento Mori, and it stars Tang Wei, Suzy, Park Bo-gum, Jung Yoo-mi, and Choi Woo-shik. I'm so sorry if I butchered those names. Please forgive me. So it was totally different. And it was just, a movie on how, we could possibly deal with loss in the future. But I don't know that it really helps because they weren't in the same place. It was just that you could see them, and somehow they didn't know they were dead. But I think it's like AI version of them, obviously. It's not really them, and they program them with the memories of that individual. But my basic, and it was great. It was greatly shot, and it was very emotional. It's very heavy, right? Because grief is heavy. It's very, very hard, no matter who you are, no matter how many times you faced it. But one thing, one of the characters, which I think was Susie and Park Bo-gum's character, he was in a coma, and so she got this AI version of him in space, and so she'd really built this relationship with the AI version of him, right? So he wakes up eventually and he's not the same. So that's where I'm taking my rebuilding, because she had to relearn him, and they both had to decide if they wanted to continue and rebuild in a whole new way. And even with loss, it is also about rebuilding. When you've lost a loved one, when you're divorced, when you've lost a house due to a hurricane or a tornado, any form of loss that is emotional, because you've spent so many years invested in this person, in this relationship, in that on that house. I mean, it's emotionally tasking. So rebuilding is not a joke. It's not something you decide to do overnight, right? And I'm going to use my story as an example. A friend asked me recently, she's like, "How are you doing?" And I gave her this analogy on a washer, right? We all have a washer. Even if we don't, we have access to one. Great invention, right? Makes life so easy for all of us. So I was telling her that I felt like I was in a washing machine, and that, how the machine goes and goes and goes, and then it stops. It's quiet for a while, right? Unless you have those super quiet ones. But, anyways, it's quiet for a while, and you think, oh, it stopped, right? But the matter of the fact is that the machine doesn't stop until that beep goes off, until you hear that beep. If you don't hear that beep, that machine is still spinning you around and spinning you around. Anyways, that's how I have felt. This past 2 years, I've had to I've been going on and on like, oh my gosh, this is good. This opportunity is great. Oh, and here comes another one. And it's like, but no, it's like life just pulls, what's that saying? That rug right under my feet. And it's like that machine. It's like, oh, it's good now. It stopped. And, the challenges have stopped. The difficulties have stopped. But no, another one comes up, and then you have to try and rebuild from that loss. And it's hard because it doesn't officially stop until you hear that beep, that sound. And I'm not ready to hear that sound. I'm not ready to die because I believe in my analogy, it's that sound is the end of life. And I'm not ready. And none of us should be ready. And although I am tired of constantly rebuilding, and it's frustrating because it's like every single thing I try doesn't seem to work. No doors I knock on seem to open fully. And your confidence gets buried and buried and buried each time. But I'm not still ready to hear that beep. I want to keep going. I want to keep going. And when it stops a little bit, I'll enjoy that good moment of not being spinned around in that washer. So how do you start to rebuild? Pray. First thing, pray. What does God want you to do? Why is this happening for a reason? What's the reason this is happening? Whatever it is, whether it's the loss of a loved one, cry out to God. I am afraid. It hurts that you let this happen to this person, or I can't believe we've lost the house. Tell God how you truly feel. If you're angry, tell God you're angry. Pray. It's the first thing because you'll need direction. You will need direction. And as you're rebuilding, figure out what went wrong. If it's a divorce, what went wrong with that divorce? If it's a business deal, what went wrong with that business deal? Taking an audit is super important before you move forward because you don't want to have to keep crashing and crashing and crashing. And then forgive yourself. It wasn't your fault, You can never prepare for such a loss. So you cannot blame yourself. But if there have been times that you've blamed yourself for the loss, oh, I should have gotten an insurance, or I should have, done this, the what ifs, the this and all of that. Forgive yourself for all of those. Do not hold those back. Do not hold those things within you. because it's not going to help you in any way. In the Hebrew word, rebuilding, I looked it up, it said a cause to continue. And so when you apply these things, which is, I pray every day, y'all, because it's a lot. It's a lot. And we are all going through a lot. It's a hard season. But if you get up today and you take one step, 1 inch, 1 foot forward, that is great. Because I understand how hard it is. But we have to continue. A cause, a reason to continue is you. You're still here. Don't take that for granted, y'all. My sister was hit by a car, but thank God she's still here. She's still here. It's a long journey ahead, but y'all, God has been faithful. And my mother doesn't have to mourn the loss of her daughter. And her daughters don't have to mourn the loss of their mother. And I don't have to mourn the loss of a sister. But y'all, it could have gone totally different. But she's still here. So although you've lost so many things, I don't know what you've lost, but you can rebuild, not replace, rebuild. And it just might be different. So I would say that you guys should check out Wonderland. Let me know your thoughts on it. It was very emotional. I did cry, and yeah, I could relate to, it's not just, a physical loss of somebody you love, but, all the other things that you might have lost. So it does evoke that emotion of like coming to a place of acceptance and moving forward. And like I said, rebuilding. But it was really a very emotional movie. It's like 2 hours, I believe, but great cast and great visuals. It was really cool. So before I leave you, I would like to encourage us with Psalms 56 verse 3, which states, "When I am afraid, I will trust in you." A lot of us are afraid of so many things, and afraid of rebuilding, afraid of what's next and all those stuff. But we've got to trust in God, and we've got to tell God, I am afraid. David was literally telling God, I'm afraid, but I will trust in you. So though we're afraid, let's have that posture of trust in God. All right, guys? And if you've experienced any type of loss, how did you rebuild? Did you rebuild? Were you able to rebuild? Did you want to rebuild? What was it like rebuilding? How did you rebuild? All those questions. Please let me know in the comments below how you did it. If you did, how long it took, just all those thoughts. Please share it in the comments below, and I will definitely respond, because we need a community to learn and grow from each other. Okay? And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscription button, just so you know when we upload another video. But until next time, y'all, please take care of yourself, and I will see you later. Bye.